Steps for drawing the CPM and PERT network. The first step is to analyze and break up of entire project into the smaller system, that is the specific activities and or events. So here we have to break up the entire project with the smaller activities and the tasks. Then the second step is to determine the interdependence and the sequence of those activities. Here we have to find which are the parallel activities, which are the series activities. Okay, so from that one we have to make a table and to find what are the interdependence and the sequence of the activities. Then the third step is to draw a network diagram with the help of the interdependence and the sequences of the activities behind the whole list with us what are the various activities in the project. Then we have to draw a network diagram. The fourth step is to estimate the completion time, cost, etc. for the each activity. So we have to find what is the time required, what is the costing of the cost required to completion of the activities. Then the fifth step is to identify the critical path, the longest path through the network. Okay, so here we try to find what is the maximum time is needed to completion of this project. And the sixth one, update the CPM and the PERT diagram as the project progresses. Now this is not a permanent diagram, so once we execute the project, that time we need to update the CPM and PERT diagram depend on the whether the activity is completed within a time or not. Let's see another term from this networking techniques. It is the activity. Now what do you mean by activity? Activity is also known as the task or the job. Now what is this activity is? So what is activity? It is also known as the task and the job. Is any portion of the project which consume the time or the resources and has the definable beginning and the ending, that we call a activity. It means the activity is that one which are consuming the time as well as the resources, just like any work or job that you have to do, then that time definitely it is consume the time as well as we need certain resources to completion of that activity or the task. What is meant by event? Event is what it is also known as the node or the connector. Now this event is it is just give the beginning or the ending points of the activity or the group. So this event is connected with this activity. Activity is what it is to consuming the time as well as the resources. Now what is this event? Event is just to connect this to the activities. Okay, so it had the event having the beginning as well as the ending point of the activity or the group of activities. So this event is doesn't consume any type of the time or doesn't consume the resources in it. Okay, and most of the times this event is noted by, or we can denote it by the circle. Okay, then so here a network AOA activity. Now what do you mean by AOA activity? AOA is what it is the activity on arrow diagram. Okay, and AON is what it is the activity on node diagram. So when a network with the activity is represented on the arrows and event on nodes. Okay, so here what we do in the AOA diagram, we are representing the arrows and the events. So activity is represented on the arrow and event on the node, and that type of we call it is the activity on arrow. Now what is mean the activity on node diagram? So it is the network with the activities represented on the nodes. So once if you the activity is represented on the nodes, then we call it is the AON. And when the activity is it is represented on the arrows and events on the nodes, then that time we can call it is a AOA diagram. With the help of the diagram we can easily understood what is meant by AOA and AON. So first AOA, so this is the first diagram which is show it is AOA, that is activity on arrow. You see this is the circle which is we call a node, and this is the arrow. So here what we show the activity 1 which is show on the node, but the name of that one, and the activity is shown on the arrow, that is A, and 3 is what it is the time required in unit, and A is the activity. So here we are showing the activity on the arrows, and that's why we call, and the event is on the node. Okay, so that's why we call this is the AOA diagram. Everywhere you see this is the connector. Okay, these are connecting the things, and you see this is the A activity, B activity, C activity, up to the it is up to the HI activity. Okay, and these numbers are mentioned, these numbers on the arrows is mentioned how much time is needed to completion of that activity, and these are called a node. Okay, so this is a node, they are just connecting this one. Another diagram, it is AON diagram. What is AON diagram? It is activity on node. So here if you see the difference between these two, then here this is the showing the activities, this is the starting point we show on the node, this is the starting ending point. Now we are showing the activity on the node. Okay, that's why we call this is A, B, C, like this. What these are the activities, but these are the activities are shown on the node, and that's why we call the diagram it is AON diagram. Now with the help of the one example, we will see how we have to draw a networking techniques or networking diagram. So draw an economical AOA network diagram using the following data. So here on the column it is given the job. Job is what? It is activity A, B, C, D, then F, G, H, J, K up to the O. And these are the predecessor. What do you mean by predecessor? Predecessor are that one, the this activity, the job is depend on the other one. Just like the activity C is to be start only when the A is completed. That's why the A is the predecessor for C. Similarly, if you want to start the activity E, then the B and C should be completed. If it is completed, then only the E starts. So this is for the activity E, B and C is the predecessor. Likewise, we have a different job, the activities of the job, and they have this showing the predecessor. So with the help of the job and the predecessors, we have to draw a network diagram. And here the question asks, draw a AOA activity on arrow. So here we have to show these activities on the arrow. Okay, let's see with the help of the diagram how we can draw this table. So see here, so what we do, we have to just make a node, and that is depend on the whatever the things is given. As A and B there is no predecessor, I mean this is the starting point, so we show like this one A and B. So this is the starting point, that is node. Okay, A and B. After that, the next activity is C activity, but C activities depend on the A. You see here the C activities depend on the A. Then you see again C, which A, the A is predecessor for the C, A is predecessor for the D. Again you look here, the A is predecessor for the F, and if you see here, no. So the predecessor A is for the activity C, D and F. The predecessor is A, means once the A is completed, the C, D and F can be start. Okay, so what we do here, so we just draw an arrow, and after that one we have this node, and from that one we show the activity C, D and F. Okay, after that, once we show this one, the next case is what it is, just like D. D is okay. E is depend on the B and C. So again I have to from the B and from the C. Once it is complete, then I can start the E. So this E activity is to be start when B and C is completed. So what I do, I just draw a arrow. I just draw arrow, and here I give the node. This is what a beginning and ending point of it. So this is we call the event. So here we meet this B and C, and from that one we show another arrow for the E. Similarly, as the H is depend on the D and E, that's why we are taking this is on the node, and then we started the things. As the F is only depend on the A, so I just give the arrow, then I place a node, and again I place the G is depend again on the F. So the F is the predecessor for the G, again I draw this one. And as the JKL is depend on G and H, if you see the diagram here, JKL, okay, sorry, GH and GH. So for the J, K and L, GH is the predecessor, G activity and H activity is predecessor. That's why we place this G and H on this node, and from this node again we have draw a three arrows, which is show the activity J, activity K, and activity L. After that one, again if you see the table, again I look this table. Once this is over, then the M and O is depend on JKL. So M and N is depend on JKL. So where is JKL? So this is J, K and L, and M and N is depend. Now as there is a rule that we are not go back, so what we do, we have just make this node somehow here, and then this JKL as the M and N is depend. So what I do, I just give the dash line, so that I just reverse it, I place it node, again I place this node, and then J, K and L is meet here on this node, and from that node we have to draw another line arrow for the M activity and N activity. The O activity, let's look the last activity, which is the O. O is depend on the K and J. With the help of this table, we are drawing that one. What is that? O. O is K and J. So let's see. Where is K? Here is the K and here is the J. It means from this node, the J and K is meet here. Okay. And from this, again, we draw an arrow for the activity O. And then once O and N is completed, then our project get end. So this is the network diagram. So what we do, we are drawing activity, we show on the arrow, B is again show on the arrow, similarly the C, D, then F, then E. Okay, because if you see here, as the A and B started, once the A is finished, then the C, then the D and F is started. Okay, and then we are showing this node just because once the B is completed and C is completed, then E is start. So once B and C is completed, E is start. Then as the D and E is completed, then H is start. Similarly, once the F is completed, G is start. And these are the nodes. Okay, these circles are showing the nodes. And once the G and H is completed, then it will start a JKL, because for JKL, G and H is the predecessor. And after that one, the M is start only when the JKL is completed, as well as the O is start when J and K is completed, and N will start when there is a JKL, because these are the predecessor start, and after that one it get in. Okay, so this is we call a network diagram, and we are showing this the activities on the arrow. That's why we call it is AOA diagram. It is activity on arrows. Thank you.